Through the fires of a culture that praises the unrighteous and celebrates mediocrity. It's time for a new age, when power to tell stories of the future will be in the hands of the people. Rise up! Become the culture! Hail the Iron Age! Welcome to the Ultimate Kahuna, where we talk about all sorts of things, especially in recent times. Brandon Sanderson. I am joined by my gay friend, Joe Batts. No,
Hey.
I'm just-
Hey, what? Damn it. Hey, when I snap my fingers, I want to make you forget that you're gay.
I'm not gay. I made you
that
forget.
Worked.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
No, that works out, man. But how the hell are you doing, brother?
Good. Recently got finished reading White Sand by
It's
Brandon
a white
Sanderson.
sand, where the people who are constantly exposed to sunlight are all white, and the people who have no sunlight are black. Makes sense. Moving on.
Interesting choice. I mean, was the racial divide even needed? Like,
it seems like at first it should have been the opposite. Second, it didn't. Like they weren't really exposed to each other that much, so it seems weird that there was any divide whatsoever. But
yeah, and then you got a black guy, and you're like, who? What is he? He's a dark sider. Got a white guy. He's day sider.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, are we allowed to call them that?
Feels racist. Yeah, interesting choice, Anderson. But
So today, if you haven't figured out, we are discussing the forgotten and perhaps least known Cosmere book by Brandon Sanderson.
What?
White Sand.
Forgotten? What do you mean? Who's forgotten this? Nobody, surely.
Also, I haven't been able to find definitive answers to some of these questions, but Bats and I both get the impression, and online there's some evidence to support the fact that this was written in prose form a long time ago. And then it was adapted into a graphic novel in 2016 and officially published.
So, I mean, Sanderson did state that he had the story created. In what form, I don't know. Just not in a published version. So he had been waiting to release this for ever. Because
maybe he was never going to release it. That's also possible.
I think he was very eager to. I mean, I think people know he's a really big Dune fan. Star Wars is he wants his desert world out there. So this was his desert Cosmere world.
I'll be honest, I'm a sucker for a good desert story. I like a good desert story, even though I hate the desert. I don't like living there. It's fun to visit. That's it.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same. I don't know.
It's like I like a well done desert story. Like in fantasy novels like Wheel of Time, there's a pretty interesting desert dynamic and actually very Dune like in what they do with the desert and desert people in uh in the Wheel of Time. Also, the white people are in the desert, so there's that also. So that's another thing Brandon was borrowing
Well,
from Wheel of Time.
you very the problem I have with desert stories is you kind of get the same story where it's like water is worth more than gold.
And the
Just like in Dune.
people are like super religious, and there's an
Yeah,
element of truth to that because like certain environments bring about certain kind of cultural things more often than not. And even like stories like the City of the Pearl, like Elric and the City of the Pearl by Moorcock, Michael Moorcock. There's also like an element of that. It's like, oh, these greedy people and they own everything, and water's more valuable than the like a jewel the size of your fist kind of thing. And you see that a lot in these kind of stories.
right,
And
and that's
this
why
story,
it's
Sanderson, is no exception.
yeah, that's why desert stories usually feel very samey to me. But that kind of didn't happen in this, even though it kind of felt like it was going in that direction, especially with how the power system is built in this. And I guess
You
that's a whole
need
topic
water.
on its own. Is
Hugely important.
yeah, the Cosmere and water being the whole thing. Like, in order for them to use their sand powers, they need to. It drains the life's body, which feels very similar to the Aether's.
The Aethers, yeah.
If you're an
Yeah.
Aether bound, it drains your water. So I'm wondering what the connection to that is, because no, not really anything else from the Cosmere drains your water like that, right?
Well, maybe it's more like life essence because like water is necessary to sustain life. And a really inconvenient place where for magic to drain your water? The fucking desert.
Yeah, no, and but that's where I'm kind of getting at, though. It's like you have all these different powers that use, investiture, where the Aethers don't use investiture. So I'm just like this doesn't take investiture, but it's a you get what I mean. So I'm like, are they more? They're more Aether bound than they are invested. Is that right? I don't know.
No, because it does take investiture, and like people can use Aethers if they're Aether bound, but like people like you have to be from this planet and of a certain bloodline to be able to use the sand whips, like in this story.
Yeah.
Whips.
Well, okay, and then I mean, I guess we'll stay
Just
on the
just a bunch
power
of white
system
people
talk
in
right
the
now.
desert using sand whips. It's not weird.
So Brandon Sanderson has made it very clear that the reason that he felt that this story was perfect for the visual medium, which I don't know how true that is. I feel like maybe somebody approached him from a comic book company and was like, "Hey, we'll publish this story that maybe his usual publishers are like, yeah, no, let's just move it aside."
This ain't all the way cooked, guys.
And
Don't
this
tell
is
'em.
in no way is this like a power system that needs to be visual. Like, and he talks about it, like you see like little pictures where they're like how it can be used, of like people making like shields and constructs kind of out of the sand. And at no point is the powers ever used that way. They're used as spears. Like, that's it. That's how they're used, spears, and
They
let's
all
like
have
lift them in the air.
powers using light and sand.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm like, like, okay, like the sand is bright. I don't think that means it needs to be the visual medium, and not to mention, like, this is definitely not the best one of his stories that could be visual. I mean, like,
I
Jesus
think
Christ,
why
like
they said that
Warbreaker.
was because it's short. Warbreaker could be a very good graphic
Well, I mean,
novel.
sorry, not just the story, the power system specifically.
Yeah,
the
like the
Warbreaker
visual aspect.
visuals of the power and bringing things to life, like visually, I would like to see that much more than sand ribbons.
Now, we're going to make something very clear from the get go. Joe and I, we each absorbed the story in a very different way. Joe read the graphic novel version of it, which I've seen some images for, but I haven't actually read. I listened to the graphic audiobook version, which is it's like it has a soundtrack and a full cast and like sound effects. And I suspect after talking to Joe behind the scenes that I think that version of this was a better way to absorb the story, because the graphic novel is in his own words. Jesus.
It looks so unfinished. Like so many of the scenes, it looks like they're SketchUps, and then the colors did what they could. So I don't know if it's like they just didn't hire the best artist for the job, which, when you look at when this was published, I don't know how much money Sanderson wasn't what Sanderson is today, so I guess that makes sense.
I think by 2016 he was I think by 2016 he was really starting to take off by that point.
And he could have been really rushed, right? Like the artist, because this is like almost 500 pages, so it's just when I look at this and I'm like, okay, like I said, we're in the like kind of independent comic scene, and if an independent comic artist showed this as their work, I'd be like, oh, this is good,
yeah,
right?
This is fun.
But I've seen so much better from so many more indies than this. So I mean, like, that's kind of weird. It's interesting the angles he did in the paneling. I kind of like that. Paneling was good, but as you can see, things are rough.
I don't like how, like, it's not the biggest thing, but I think it's more important to me when I read a graphic novel or a comic. The way your eye naturally flows through the images is important for story cohesion. And it doesn't seem like they did a very good job on at least a good half of the images that I've seen so far. Which is
I think it was pretty decent. And like, this is a little bit more of it. Like there's some like paneling that's not the typical, 3 like this.
Also, can we talk about everybody giving him shit about having a sword and knowing how to use it?
There's a lot of questions about this world. So I'll say it right now, because there's going to be a lot of things I have to say about this story that I'm probably going to forget. This is like the worst world that Sanderson has created. Is there some interesting things about it? Sure. But like mechanically, it just doesn't work. Like, okay, let me just spoil my feelings ahead of time, right? I think this is the worst Sanderson book story there is. Like, I told you, Kahuna, in chat that I think this is the worst Cosmere book, and I think I have to retract that. I haven't read all of his books, but
between you and me, we've read pretty much a lot. Like between you and me, at least, yeah,
a lot. That medieval book was my worst book for Sanderson.
But that wasn't a Cosmere book.
It wasn't a Cosmere book, but I think this is worse than that book. I think this is the worst Cosmere story that I have seen from him, and I guess it makes sense that it's one of his earliest written stories.
It felt like a lot of half-baked ideas that weren't like I think you could have changed a few things and like really thought it out a little bit better, and maybe made this into a good story. But it feels like everything that is in this book that is vaguely interesting has been better done in another book by Sanderson. To me,
absolutely. But like, I mean, so for example, like, we talked about how it's the deserts, the water's important, the power system uses water. So it's like water is definitely supposed to be a incredibly valuable resource in this world for how it's used. But then, and you can already guess it, like halfway through the story, they're like, oh yeah, you just pour water on the sand, and there's the entire planet water pretty much is an aquifer. So like there's plants in there that are filled with water, so they reach out for the water when you pour it into the sand, and they cut it off, and they get a bunch more water in return. So water is not important. Like, it's an abundance.
Yeah, it's like oh, it's not hard to find if you know where to find it, which is true. Like there have been desert places in the world that are like that. But it took one of the more like threatening things about this planet. It's like, oh, you need water to use the magic. And you're in the desert. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe you shouldn't have to. Maybe you can't use the magic all the time because it'll kill you. No,
yeah,
you just summon the magical water like Venus flytrap and get as much as you need.
Yeah, it takes away so much of the like pressure of like resource management and everything from that. I was just like, why would you do this? Like, from a world building perspective, cool. But for the type of story that he's trying to tell and have the tension
If
in
you
it,
want to raise tension, that's a very poor
yeah.
choice to make just for that aspect.
Because you have the Darksiders, you have this character Princess Chris, who's from the dark side, and they're coming over here to get the Sand Mages, and they're trying to like they got political troubles over there that we only vaguely know about, and they're trying to figure out to get help, right? So they don't get subjugated, and they're like traveling through the desert looking for these Sand Mages, and to them they're really worried about water. And they can't really communicate with people. But like every time they go town to town, they're like, there's just no water every time they're in a town. And I'm like, well, that's just not true. That's
If there's
insane.
no water, then the town doesn't exist, buddy. That's how life works.
So I'm like, obviously there's some way that they're getting water that's actually a lot easier that they're just not telling us yet. And then once they do it, it's like, well, no, duh. And it's like, okay. So I'm like, you didn't trick me there. You didn't trick me to be like, they were like, I didn't actually think they were in danger. I knew that at some point we were going to get the secret to why water is actually more abundant than it seems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, like this is like we've been laughing about it, especially like behind the scenes. But imagine you're on a world, and it's like, yeah, people develop in our world and virtually every other world, people developed darker skin as a response to being constantly exposed to sunlight and not having like an ability to escape it. That's why there's more melanin, like different melanin kind of processes in different groups of people around the world. On this planet, the white people are the only ones with constant exposure to sunlight, and the people with dark skin have no sunlight. It makes no goddamn sense.
Which the main character is half Darksider, he's half darky.
Like, it's what they're called, dude. It's not even like we're not even going there. That's where this book goes.
Another thing I want to mention, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, so feel free to reel me in, but I'm like, this is the worst use of the like that word, and the replacement for the F word, the replacement for everything, like, in Stormlight Archive, it's storms, like storms you, right? And this is sands. And I'm like, this, every single Cosmere.
I felt like Anakin by the end of this book.
Yeah, colors, shards. This was the worst one. It was so overly used, but not only that, like they're using sands as a curse word. But I'm like, that's
also your magic.
That doesn't make sense. Like, there's no way that this would like linguistically become like a curse word, because like they all the religions are based around the desert and the sands. I'm like, so why would you use it as a curse word? I don't know. Well, I guess that
would be like every guy in the military being like, guns.
What? Oh, we should.
That would be hilarious, but no.
So I don't know. Maybe it's because this is just like the breaking point for me. I've read enough Sanderson stuff, and people have pointed it out enough where I'm just like, oh my god. Yeah,
I still enjoy and love a lot of Sanderson stories. I mean, like you've expressed, like Warbreaker's one of your favorites. Stormlight up until book, like I even tolerate book 4, but book 5 is again like maybe the most disappointing book I've ever read. Not the worst book, but definitely the most disappointing.
You could put the screen down.
Oh yeah. There we go.
Yeah, I was looking. I was, being an older Sanderson book, I was like looking forward to, the older Sanderson takes, and I'm like, oh, this is not good. This is why he has a team of editors.
Maybe I
don't know. And then so the main story is the Sandmasters. They kind of just play around. They have like their testing every year. And they get ambushed by these like religious zealots that believe that sand mastery is evil, right? How they get ambushed, I don't know. They're in a pretty big desert. There's a lot of people that are approaching them in this desert. And I'm like, how did you get here unnoticed? sure, I guess, right?
Also, the water was poisoned somehow.
Oh, who could have done it? Could it be the guy that they really want to make us think is doing it? That's so obviously maybe a bad guy that which ends up not being the bad guy. Oh, big surprise! Or is it the bald friend that there's this whole thing that
who's so supportive?
The only people that make it back, the only Sandmasters that can make it back from this slaughter are the lower ranked people because they have belts that show their rank. And the lower ranked people are able to make it because they weren't targeted, right? Because they were caring about the powerful people. And one of the second highest ranked people makes it back, and he's bald.
Oh shit!
Very important that he's bald. That's evil guy territory.
Also, he does he's the advisor and he runs the logistics of everything.
Yeah.
And, gee willikers! I wonder if it's a really good thing he doesn't want power, right, guys? Right?
It's the worst twist in Sanderson.
Sanderson can be he can do some really good twists. This just wasn't one of them.
No,
how did he look evil in the graphic?
He's not. He doesn't show up much, so it might be difficult to find it. He definitely looked kind of stereotypically bad guy. I'm not gonna lie.
It's like you're playing a modern day shooter, like Call of Duty or something, and there's this business guy who's bald and white, and you're like, oh, gee, I wonder who the bad guy is. Man, there's no way to find. Yeah. There's no way to know.
Oh, so show the panel real quick. So this is like a bunch. This guy has a bunch of ribbons. They're kind of like shooting some clay rocks or whatever. To test out the powers. And basically what happens is once you get your powers, you have like a certain number of ribbons, and that never goes up, never goes down. So this is what that looks like. And you can see in the bottom of the main character, he has one ribbon. That's like the big thing, is just like he's trying to become a master, but the masters are decided based off of how many ribbons you have, which is retarded, right?
Mm-hmm. It's like my ribbon's the thickest and the strongest.
Yeah, and everyone acknowledged that this guy with one ribbon is super skilled with this one ribbon.
He can do things that no one else can do with that ribbon.
Yeah, but we're not going to make him a higher rank because we care more about how many ribbons you have versus the one ribbon. They're like, oh, but people are able to solve things much easier by throwing more ribbons at it, and we never really see that, honestly.
Honestly, we hear that, but the whole graphic novel we're seeing Kenton, or listening, or in my case, listening to him do pretty amazing things with his initially single ribbon.
Initially, yeah,
and then he discovers, wait, there's more.
So they do the overburn or whatever it's called, where they run out of water completely, and they lose their power for a period of time, and then they get more ribbons. And this has just suddenly been discovered, never discovered before.
I will say it is implied that it's like this is the secret, because the masters would get more ribbons, and that is something they mentioned in the book.
I missed it. Yeah.
I think you did miss that part. Yeah, no, you can get more ribbons, but only the masters really know how. His father had 24 or 28 of them or something, some shit. How
many battles are won on attrition, you think? I think a
in
large
this world,
portion,
not enough.
I think a large portion of battles are won on attrition. So the more ribbons you have, the faster you run out of water. So
yes,
you would think, right? If he's going up against a guy with a crap ton of ribbons, maybe he just has to wait it out, right? You think that's a genius plan? You think that's gonna be some big reveal at the end that our main character just figured it out all of a sudden? Yeah.
Boy.
I'm
there's a lot of things you're just kind of scratch your head. That make you scratch your head in this story. None of the twists really got me. Everything that
No,
happened, I'm like,
none of
okay,
them.
yeah. And that doesn't mean the story's not good. That doesn't, but there are other things.
But it is
too,
not good.
It is not good. All that being said, this ain't it, folks. This ain't it.
Well, so he gets back to his sand people, and so there's a whole thing. He is like the highest ranked sandmaster now, and he's the only one. And the council of like the city, which is like all the professions of the city, have come to vote while they're all gone, and we're like, hey, we're disbanding
We're getting rid of you now.
Yeah, which I'm like, can they even do that? Like, what?
Also, his friend, the leader of like that other sect, whatever her name is.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, gee, man, it would be weird if she wasn't really like truthful about being with him, and it would be a shame if she wanted to get rid of him too. Or yeah, oh no. Also, it's like it's like, oh, everybody hates them. I'm like, that makes no. Oh, that's because they're giant cocks to everybody.
they don't do anything.
Yeah, they don't do anything.
They're like
they get free shit, and then everybody hates them.
Everybody pays for it. Why?
So what?
How is that set up? Like, I get it's to create this conflict of why people want to get rid of them, but like realistically in this world, like Sanderson's usually really good at this, where you're like, oh, I believe that this would become a conflict in this world. I'm like, why are they doing nothing? Like, apparently they're the best at doing literally everything by using the sand magic, and they don't do anything. And I'm
because like they're not fighting wars, they're not getting rid of the dangerous beast that often. What is happening?
Like, they can help the soldiers. I don't get, like, I don't know why. Like, there's no reasoning. And it's not that, like, oh, the Sandmasters just want to be really lazy. I'm like, but like the Sandmasters don't have to do anything. They got like other guys under them. They just have to order them to do it.
Also,
what is going on?
That being said, there was one kind of FU moment to the main character that I appreciated. It's like, oh yeah, the master's chambers are up there. You need to like only a master has enough ribbons to get up there by having more ribbons. It's like, I'm the master, but can I have a ladder? Anyone?
Well, he needs 3 ribbons, and which he got really quickly.
And then he also what do you have, like 5 by the time it was over?
He had 5 at the end because it took him forever to try to overburn again, which I'm
because like it's super dangerous and could kill you.
Yeah, and I'm kind of just oh Jesus, what is happening? Okay, I'm gonna ignore that. Anyways, but so what was I gonna say? The sand people doing nothing. I'm just like, what is the motivation for them to do nothing? Because they've been doing nothing forever. I'm just like, what was the purpose of making them in the first place? And I think they kind of were going with the fact that they like if they have a group of sandmasters, then they could just put them in this temple, and we don't have to worry about people causing chaos in the city sandmastering.
It was like, oh yeah, control the magic people because magic bad.
Yeah, which I can get that, right? Like, you don't want people abusing the magic, right? And so you just kind of just put them segregated. You pay for everything, so they don't have to do anything.
We'll pay for crap, and we'll keep them over here, and that's
right.
That's
fine.
That.
So then, why are you disbanding them? Because then, if you disband them, then okay, then you already stated. Well, we don't want people just causing chaos with their sand mastery. So it's going to happen. So either you can control them and be like, all right, hey, now, like, we won't disband you, but you guys have to start doing stuff. And then, oh, well, cool, because there's this new leader who actually wants to do that.
Also, you have to pay off your debt now that you've accumulated over, like, hundreds of years to everybody.
How can they not get out of that? How can they not get out of that? So there's the big reveal is that apparently, like, a sandmaster way back in the day opened an account that keeps occurring interest, or not interest. It keeps getting more money, right? Or no, interest that the bank people owe.
Interest goes both ways.
Yeah. And so, like, by the time the most recent banker guy takes his position, their debt is like, crazy high. So they owe the Sandmasters millions because they keep on it. Apparently, it passes down to the next Sandmaster that the bank owes to them, and I'm like, just cut them off. Like, I don't get this.
Is that more or less stupid than the sailing guild or the boat guild, like the merchants guild with the ships?
All these guilds are retarded.
This is like communist. Like, this isn't the Sand World. This is the Communist Union world. That's what this is, right? Because everything is like all part of the community. Everything is essentially a union. Like a very pyramidal,
or is it union, or what is it that the Japanese did? What's that system called?
Torture, theft,
empirical. I don't know. I think it's called something else, but it's dumbfounded, and we haven't even got to like actually what's going on because
we haven't really even talked about the story yet.
Yeah. So he's able to pause the vote by 2 weeks because he's like, well, you have to give me 2 weeks notice. Like, okay, we have to give you 2 weeks notice.
And it's like, I know the law because I've been like finding loopholes my entire life that ruined.
And now he has
life.
To convince every single person on the council to vote yes, not just a majority. He needs to get every single one of them. Why? Because.
Right? Also, he cucked his friend out of his relationship with his father, which was kind of fun. But like his dad, like his buddy's dad hates him, and just there's so much in this book that I'm just like, man, I don't know this. Yeah,
why? Well, and then like the other main character to this is like his bodyguard, which is she's of the religion that are like the zealots that think Sans Master is evil.
But then she also has to protect him, and then she's like forced into it, and I'm like, this is like weird. This is like weird Star Wars stuff. Yeah.
Well, it's a story about duty over culture or religion, I guess. I thought that was probably the most
for your belief. Yeah.
Right, and I thought that was like the better part of the story. And so she's constantly defending him against because the zealots are constantly trying to assassinate him, which they're only doing that so there can actually be conflict in this story and action, because random assassins will show up and be like, hey, here's some action. And it's stupid, it's pointless.
We never don't finish a job, so we'll just keep sending people after you forever.
And the ease of which these assassins are able to access him is insane.
It's insane. Yeah,
his bodyguard's terrible. There's a homeless king.
No. Oh yeah, that was something too. Yeah, the whole home. Yeah. It's like
the story's really.
You guys don't know this, but he's a darkie. What?
That's the big reveal.
What?
There's just so many things.
Spy from a foreign country. Yeah,
just pointless to the. I'm like, this is one of these things. Like, okay, keep the world. Write a completely different story.
Yeah. Like, also change the culture. Maybe have this culture verging on collapse because nothing makes any fucking sense.
We're just started. We can't figure it out.
It's like, by the end of the story, I'm like, I hope a bunch of the Darksiders come over with guns and just kill everybody.
Oh yeah, the Darksiders have guns. That's a whole thing. And yeah, it's like, it's hard to talk about the Darksiders because I'm like, I just don't really care about them. They're kind of just here.
And they also don't make sense to me. Why would they have better technology?
Every single one of them was a spy.
Oh yeah, and her like it's like, oh, my boyfriend would never leave me. We were in love. Oh wait, it's an arranged marriage. Oh wait. Oh no. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, this guy's the bodyguard I hired. Oh, actually, he works for the other faction we're at war with. This guy's also bodyguard.
The homeless Capitol Hill Seattle King is actually my guy, but he got hurt and. Oh man, I didn't see that coming. Oh,
she got betrayed by almost every single one of them.
And then, like, one of them that betrayed her, who was a spy, was later like, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, just never mind.
Never
You
mind.
know, my job wasn't the specifics to my job.
He's like,
Oh,
I've
because
been in,
he
I've been
needed to
in deep
stop.
cover for a while, but I'm done with it.
He needed to stop Sand Mastery from coming in, and since they found out that it's pointless, that their whole point of being here, we find out is pointless because you can't actually bring Sand Mastery to the dark side. You can't leave
Because you need sunlight.
yeah, you need sunlight, which it's yeah. Well, I'm even thinking, I'm like, okay, let's say it doesn't run out of powers in 4 hours, right? Let's say it doesn't. How much sand do they have to bring to be like a force that you have to worry about? Because they're just going to constantly be running out of sand.
Also, like, their buildings are not. There's no specialty like system to direct sunlight everywhere. Like, maybe they wouldn't, but look at the Lightbringer series by Brent Weeks. You haven't read those, but like, just try them. I think they'll surprise you. They're really good. But it's like the city of people who all use light. They have mirrors, and it's a rotating city, and it's interesting. And it's like, basically it gives all optimum light everywhere, almost all at once. And like, it would be complicated. It sounds contrived, but in a world where that was the source of your power, in a place where they study and learn this power, of course they would do that. It makes sense.
I mean, they got the star marked power. So they mentioned that the Darksiders have their own separate power system where they're like, they have like Darksider tattoos that you can't see until you're in the dark, I guess. That's all you know. You never see it. That'd be interesting. I don't know. How do they, like, what do they do? I don't know. So I'm just like, that's so boring. I don't care. And then like the whole reason,
hey guys, we have tattoos that are invisible. What?
So the Darksider princess, the narrative reason she's there is because
would it be insensitive to call her the Darky Princess? Would that be insensitive? That's basically.
Well, she's there to assist the main character to try to convince the people to vote for them, and we see like the first person.
And she's doing that because she wants to prove that sand bending. I'm calling it sand bending.
Yeah.
Is real. And then, like, everybody knows about it. It seems like you could ask anybody, and then they would tell you. Or like, and he doesn't want to show her for some reason. For no reason. There's no reason not to show her.
No, it doesn't make sense. It's just this is literally the worst Sanderson writing. So I'm like, it makes me question how much his editors end up like actually making his stories good. No, because
this feels like a novel that was rejected just because it wasn't there. Like, cause it seems obvious that it was written a long time ago, and that it's like most good authors have a dozen books they will never publish.
There's so many aspects of this that are just bad. So I mean, so she's there to help to like convince these other guild members to vote for him. She does it once. By the most basic like line of logic, like, oh, we can help you actually. What if we gave you some Sandmasters to help you out? Oh, she's really smart, guys. Like, just keep her around.
What if we weren't fucking freeloaders for once?
And I don't think she helps convince any other fucking guildmaster. So she really wasn't important anyways.
she did have guns, and people were shot, and I like that. There's not enough people getting shot with pistols in the Cosmere.
No.
Like, also, think about. Sorry, if guns exist in the Cosmere, which they do, guns are pretty OP in any world. Any kind of gun.
Like them. Which I don't like. Well, I love guns. I love guns. Real life.
Not in fantasy.
Fantasy life. It's just they're OP. You know,
there is an exception to that, but they use guns as part of the magic system, and that's the Powder Mage series. If you haven't read any of those,
I want to read it. I hear it's good.
Dude,
there's ways to do it.
Brutal. Like they're the main character. Like, one of the main characters in one of the series, I won't tell you which. He's in the middle of a fight, and at one point he just bites the guy's nose off, and that's like, like, it's brutal, dude. It's so good.
Yeah. No, and so. It's just a lot. So many things just end up not making sense and are just boring. I don't care about him convincing this his guild members to keep the Sandmasters around being
It kind of
Sandmasters.
the
Like, why?
Sandmasters kind of sound shitty anyway. It's like
Yeah, why
I
does he
don't
even
really.
care?
Also, he hated them, and now he's
Yeah,
in
his
charge.
dad was a dick, but he wasn't a dick. But he was
His
also a
dad.
piece of shit because he just had the Sandmasters doing nothing. So
Also,
I'm
he
just
all but admitted that he had his son to see if you could have a mixed breed child with power.
yeah.
Man, there's so much going on here that I'm just
It's
like,
just so much stupid. Oh, that's what I was thinking of too. Cause so we mentioned this whole thing of like, there's like a bunch of Darksiders in the Dayside already.
yeah. So
So
they have intermingled. This is not
so
new.
why is there so little communication between the two countries?
Well, it's because
Like,
some of the more powerful countries on the dark side don't like they regulate trade and travel. I'm like, that sounds way more interesting. Why are we here?
right, but I'm like, so again, yeah. I'm like, so you have literally nobody to go, like, no scientists to go over there to be like, hey, what's this world about? Like, oh, there's this sand things going on. Like, none of that information makes it back. Like, okay, maybe information is super secret over there. They're like, then the narrative should be there. Like, otherwise, I don't care about these characters.
It sounds like the dark side sounds like Game of Thrones. Why are we on this side?
Who
Where
knows?
nothing. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's rough, dude. And all with all this being said, Sanderson, you are still one of my favorite authors, despite all of. We're being hard. Like I feel very comfortable being harsh on the Sanderson book because I like some of his books are some of my favorites of all time. Period. And
Ember
so
Dark
I'm
was
very.
really good.
Ember Dark was surprisingly good. I did not have faith it would be that good.
Yeah, which is when you're like, oh my, wow, he is capable of writing these narratives that are super interesting.
They're
Which
not
is
all going to be wind in my truth from here on out, hopefully.
which
So
makes
yeah.
me wonder how the same person is capable of writing White Sand.
I think we hit the nail on the head. I think it was just an underbaked story that was never meant to be published, at
Yeah,
least in its current form. And then they just they did editing, but this story needed it needed characters changed. It needed a storyline that made sense. It needed the cultures needed to be re-examined. This thing needed to be reworked from the ground up. I think, in my opinion.
yeah,
And
yeah.
don't get me wrong,
How,
there are some interesting things like what's his name, Kenton, what's his name? Yeah, Kenton. Like him wanting to prove himself, kind of being a rebel who he uses a sword. Also, that's so stupid. People give him so much shit for using a sword. I'm like, it's a sword. What do you mean? It's yeah. Thorn, what?
My brother wants to call.
yeah, no. So we don't like another thing is we don't ever see where the zealots. I can't remember the name of their people, but like where the zealots live. So I'm just kind of like, how is it they live? How is their society even operating? Because I'm having trouble like visualizing it
They're
because
also apparently they're not in charge of the police, but she just happens to be a zealot who is on the police force.
yeah.
Yeah, I actually that was probably she was maybe my favorite character.
Yeah, at first it took a little bit because at first she's like, "How do I control this rage?" I'm like, "Does she have like some cosmic power?" And it's like, "No, she's just angry." I'm like, "Wow, real edgy, Sanderson.
Angry.
She's so angry. How do I control it?" Oh, here's this other
That's
guy
something
who's
I
just
always
so
kind of laugh
aloof.
at. There's this idea that feminine rage is so powerful. I'm like, no.
Nope.
I think they have more trouble. Like women in general have a bit more trouble controlling their emotions, especially negative ones. But there's
A
nothing more
woman being
powerful
emotional? What?
about that would never happen. He's married, guys. He's not allowed to say certain things. Blink twice if you
Yeah.
need help. But yeah, no, and Kenton going him having to try to transform into a responsible leader who will actually help people versus the guy who was rebelling against the shitty kind of group that he was a part of in the first place. There are some things I liked about that.
Yes, but again, it's like so his position, like trying to figure out how to become a leader, makes sense. He was thrust into it. Her, she's already like like a veteran of her profession, so she should already be grown to an extent.
Yeah.
Like
Also,
controlling, you don't know how to control your anger, and you're
you're a
how high
cop,
up in
like
there?
you're an investigator, like you're directly
Yeah,
underneath like the people in charge of the whole thing.
yeah, that's not good. And they're also like they're kind of like the more like quiet assassin type of profession elites. The elites. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just that's wrong
Also,
character for that.
his best friend like hating Kenton for like
Hmm.
the most petty bullshit, like nonsense read. Like people are like that, but it felt dumb when I was reading it.
It was dumb. Yeah, he's
Okay,
like,
thank you.
I really hate him because he will, if I eventually he'll make me get into a position of responsibility, and I'll hate him for it. Like, okay,
That
sounds
like you are a shitty friend.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
eventually I'll have to do something with my life.
Well, we're supposed to care that they're trying to keep the Sandmasters around, although I'm not convinced of why I should care that the Sandmasters
Also,
need
the
to stay.
Sandmaster should be disbanded. Like I'm reading it, I'm like, get them out of here, dude.
No,
They've been a
they
bunch of freeloading losers for decades or hundreds of
well,
years.
the way that he's trying to make it, I'm like, obviously that's the right choice because you do want to have some sort of control over those type of powers.
It is, but can you
And
blame anyone who wants them gone?
well, I would be much more different if they had a history of causing chaos. Like people want things gone when they start like interfering with their life, which I don't really see the burden of the financial
The
burden.
constant freeloading, I think, would do it. The
Yeah,
the
but like,
the,
but
the
if
aura of superiority
out
and
of
the
sight,
constant
out of
freeloading.
mind.
But they're not
You
out
know
of
what I
sight.
mean?
It's like, oh, shit, oh, I have to do this thing for this person and not get paid for it.
But we don't see it.
We do a little
We,
bit.
we don't, not really. Like that's the thing is like when you get this big financial like flow going on, it's like we don't see that the city's like I mean they have poor people obviously, but I don't think it's like any of them are like we're poor because
They're
of
not
the
destitute.
Sandmasters. I
I'm not.
mean,
I don't get the
maybe
impression.
maybe a scene like this, like maybe I like a poor guy being like I wouldn't be in this financial crisis if we didn't have to like pay up money that ends up going to the Sandmasters to do nothing.
Yeah,
There you go.
or it's
There's
like,
something.
yeah, that they would take my best stock of all of these things that in my shop, and eventually, like, our debts became too unbearable. I couldn't pay them off without
Yeah.
selling the best of what I had, and they took it. Like
No, but
maybe
you got the boat guys that have all these huge
the
boats.
boat people. That's maybe more stupid than the Sand Guild, and I can't believe it because the
Dude's
Sand Guild.
throwing $50,000 bottle of wines out the window. Like so again, the Sandmasters and they
Also,
have plenty of money.
if you become the guild master of like the boat people, you give up all of your personal fortune.
Yeah.
What?
But like, dude, they got a whole art department. Like, they're fine financially. Like, yes, they have their poor people, but like, they're relatively fine. I don't know. They're not. They're telling you, they're not showing.
And which is ironic in a graphic novel, actually.
Of all things. Again, I can't believe this. This is the story that he picks for a graphic novel. It was like, oh, the magic system, it's perfect for them. Like it's fucking ribbons. They're bright.
Or,
like
what was there? Wasn't there a short story where it was somebody in the forest with shades? It's short. That could have been a cool looking, scary like graphic novel. That could have been interesting. Maybe not colorful, but interesting. I don't
yeah,
know,
I
man.
mean, well, colorful is not the determining factor of whether something needs to
It's
be.
not, but it seems like it's
Yeah.
important to them for some reason.
And it's in the desert too. Like that's not like what I think when I think graphic novel. Like I don't know.
If I think
in
desert
particular,
graphic
anyways.
novel, I think of either my buddy's novel or like a western.
Yeah, well, of course, a western, but
I suppose we should talk about like because we both did like absorb the story differently. Maybe we should talk a bit about that, not just like the story
Yeah.
and things not making sense character wise, but like I listened to the graphic audio version, which is a neat way to listen to a story if you haven't experienced it. It's kind of like an old radio play. There's a soundtrack, there's a full cast,
Yeah, I've
and
done
they
books
work
like
on
that before. Yeah.
it's not. I don't always want it, but some occasionally it's neat. So there's that. I think not having unfinished looking art to look at and having interesting sound effects made it more interesting because like the magic sounded magical, the whips sounded kinetic and interesting, and
Hmm.
the voice acting was really good for certain characters, and then other characters existed.
I mean, I don't know particularly, but I can honestly assume that the comic was would be the worst way to consume
read
this
the
story. Because like I'm looking at this and it's just like the art is so mediocre. And then there's the fact that the power system's just ribbons, and I'm like, you can describe that just fine with words.
Yeah,
I don't need to see
the ribbons are actually maybe more interesting as words and
And
as sound effect in my case.
most of the story is them trying to convince these other people, which is conversations, which I don't need fights for, or I don't really care to necessarily be in the comic version for dialogue. And then there's the fact that like the most of the action we're getting are these random assassin attacks that feel
The more I
so
think about it,
forced in.
it is forced, but it's kind of fun. It feels like a video game mechanic. Like in Skyrim, like not black, the Dark Brotherhood, the Black Brotherhood in Skyrim. No, the Dark Brotherhood in Skyrim, just like randomly attacking you.
Yeah,
It
had
felt
20
like
minutes.
that.
You had 20 minutes without a fight. Here's another random assassin attack. There we go.
Also,
Mark that down.
Them, like, how many times do they have to wipe out the squad before people are before the assassins are like, maybe we shouldn't do this anymore?
I don't think Sanderson understands this concept too. That like once you defeat an enemy, they're not threatening anymore, right? And I say he doesn't understand it probably still. Obviously, it's an old book, but it was in Stormlight 4,
do you think
like
Sanderson
big time.
has ever been in a fight, like a physical fight?
Yeah, but the way he talks about like war happening and stuff like that, and the way that he's written before, I think he's done the research to understand it, right? More than I'd say most people.
But there's feel like that in this story.
Right. And there's this thing, because it happens in Stormlight 4, where there's that one character that just kept the pursuer or whatever.
The pursuer, yeah.
Who just kept coming back, but Kaladin...
Every time he lost, he became less threatening.
Right. Well, Kaladin kept on becoming more powerful every time he showed up. So I'm like, well, there's zero tension here, dude. And then, like, it's kind of the same thing. Like, okay, you send 3 assassins.
I forgive it in that book and in Rhythm of War specifically because
I don't.
because they use it in the story. It's like it's part of what he uses. Like basically, like you've lost face 3 times. You have tried to kill me, and I have beaten you. You have no power. Like I didn't hate that. I'll be honest.
Well, it just made for really boring fights after the very first one. So, and that's when you have the big climactic battle. It's like, well, this is boring now because obviously Kaladin's going to win. He's already won. So stop doing that and stop.
Well, in the final battle, yeah, but like Kaladin didn't really have his powers for most of the story. So that added its own kind of tension.
We don't have to go too much into Stormlight.
No, we don't have to get into the Rhythm of War right now.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like you send 3 assassins, and obviously he's got magic powers, and he's beating them easy. So send 3 more assassins. It's not like, okay, send a couple more. It's not. You're not really upping the ante much.
He's also allegedly more athletic.
yeah. So the big climactic fight scene too, right at the end of White Sand, is between him and this guy that he suspects is the reason that all the Sandmasters were assassinated, even though it's pointed out by his friend, and it's just super obvious that it wasn't him. This dude's got 25 ribbons. How? Now our hero has only been able to accumulate 5 ribbons. How could he ever go up against so many? And 5 is not enough to keep up, and you're seeing it. And the way that it happens is a ribbon hits a ribbon, right? Like it hits like this. That ribbon dissipates. Not very visually fun to watch. I didn't really care.
It's more
so-
interesting to hear about and read about, maybe. But
Probably.
again, visually, not interesting to look at.
And then so the character is talking, he's like, oh man, it's kind of hard to control this many ribbons. Oh, if I just use
Yeah.
one, I could do more with one than any master could do with like a couple dozen.
Except
So
that
he
you
uses
can
one,
defeat
and then
one.
and then he's also like, and he uses less water, and like, yeah, no shit. And so of course the so this not bad guy.
Also, like it's not like an unexpected limitation because they're not allowed to bring more water in the fight. So you know
it's so
this.
obvious, such an obvious answer. And I'm like, this definitely would happen in like training fights. This would happen all the time. The person with more ribbons would run out of water quicker, and it would be this whole. There's more interesting things you could have done with this type of power. And so he beats him with one ribbon because the guy runs out of water. He runs out of water.
Jesus.
And then there's this power that they show that his father used, which they can basically suicide bomb himself. Which I'm now thinking.
I will say that scene, at least just as I listened to it in graphic audio form, with his father basically turning into a tornado of light ribbons, like shredding an entire army of people.
It was cool. I thought that was.
I
yeah.
appreciated that. Yeah. Like, what a way to go out. What a way.
Using that power here because he doesn't want to lose, so he goes to suicide bomb himself, which isn't just going to take out him, his opponent. It's also going to take out all the important people of the city that are watching it. And I'm like, well, this guy's not the bad guy because it's also revealed that he's not the bad guy. It is revealed, right? Like, pretty much right there. Because duh.
Yeah.
But why is he going to suicide bomb everyone? And then,
like his final words, I wanted to do this on a plane.
That was insane. And then no repercussions for doing that. The main hero stops it because all he has to do is touch him with a ribbon and then stops the explosion. Like, oh, this is so interesting, guys. I'm so entertained by this.
Yeah. Oh, it turns out all the people that you thought were helping you actually were the bad people.
Yeah.
Shocked Pikachu face. What? What?
Is there anything else you want to discuss?
I'm just depressed now. I need to read a better book.
Yeah, it was. And so I'm like, too. It's like I've had this on my mind I've been wanting to read this for a long while because I'm like, because I like comics so much, and I'm like, well, Brandon Sanderson's written a lot of books.
That sounds great.
He's got a comic. This is cool, and I never hear this. I've been wanting to read this for like 3 years, but nobody ever talks about it. And I'm like,
now you know why.
Nobody ever mentions it. And I'm like, isn't it cool that he's got a comic? Like, I thought it was short. I'm like, no, it's almost 500 pages. Nobody talks about it for really good reason. And then I have a video. If you can pull up my screen, I'm not gonna
see.
I'm not gonna play the video
at the end here. Basically, he's going through like the reading order for the Cosmere, and it goes through all the books except for one notable exception.
No White Sand. Never mentioned it.
Not once.
Not important to read for the Cosmere against. I guess. Well, not only is it not important, it's completely forgotten about.
This is a Cosmere guy.
Yeah, I'm not sure how big he is, but yeah. It's just so funny because I'm like, yeah, this is, after reading White Sand, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense that he forgot this exists.
I don't know. Did he forget it or did he just not bring it up?
The other thing too is because it's Cosmere, and the Dark Sider Princess is a really important character. And not only that, you see the White Sand be used in a couple of the stories, other Cosmere stories.
On Roshar and on I can't remember the planet for Warbreaker, but you know what I'm talking. Yeah, in Warbreaker.
Yeah, Chris is mentioned like in I think a couple of different Cosmere stories. Very specifically, the one that talks about how Kelsier becomes a what is that called?
Cognitive shadow.
how he becomes a cognitive shadow. She's in that like novella. So
Mhm.
she's an important character. So there's like a lot of important information that comes from this world, and nobody talks
To
about
quote
this.
Jordan Peterson here, it's not nothing.
It's not nothing yet.
Oh, cripes almighty, dude. Brandon, the things you do to me, good and bad. It's all there. It's all there. But yeah, nope. So if you had to do you do an out of 5 rating when you rate things, or do you do like out of 10? I do out of 10.
The more I do it, the more I just don't care to do
I
ratings. So you start to feel differently after time, and I don't know.
yeah,
I can do it out of 10.
I don't think I would recommend this book.
I definitely am not recommending it, but it's like if you're
Is it
invested in
worse than your
Cosmere, I
average?
guess you kind of have to.
You don't have to. I don't think you have to for this.
Yeah, but if you're like all in the Cosmere, like
If you're a completionist,
yeah,
if you enjoy completing, if you enjoy finishing, wait.
yeah. I mean, well, besides that, yeah, I guess it's not like it. You're not missing out on anything by not reading this. You're going to get another story in the future that probably will help you.
Also, I need to bring this up because like we were looking up things before the video, before like we started recording. There on Goodreads, there's a deal right here, like their reviews. There's a 5-star review for this book. First, that's wild. Secondly, this is what it says. I definitely liked it better than Elantris. I don't understand why Sanderson never published this book before. It is very well written, and the world building and magic is original and unique.
How is this original? That's so stupid. Like, okay, I guess the number of ribbons you can have, but I'm like, I don't know. Making things out of sand,
it's
sand whips,
tentacles. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. It's not. It's not. It's just sand tentacles. That's it. That's all you do with it. You either have one or you have more. Like that's it.
Like the book does go to illustrate like what you could do with your sand tentacles.
You never see it though.
No, you do. You hear, or at least I heard about it. Like Kenton, he used his in a large variety of ways, making him super thin or super strong. And yes, little one.
I want dinosaurs.
My youngest wants dinosaurs, but this review has gone on for just about long enough. We've never talked about Elantris either, Joe and I, but I'm given the impression I like someone saying they like this better than Elantris is pretty wild to me.
Yeah, it's a crazy take.
Yeah, that's a nutty take. Like Elantris, not perfect, like, but it's maybe one of the funniest books he's written, and it's definitely one of the most atmospherically interesting.
It's still got my favorite character in the Cosmere.
Oh, Raoden?
Cooley.
Oh, that was fun. Yeah. I liked the bad guy. I liked the Catholic war priest stand-in in that book. I genuinely thought he was interesting. And like both what he did as how he was, what he thought, and how he ended his journey as well was interesting. But
it's been a long time since I read it. But yeah, maybe we'll have to read it again.
Yeah, we might have to talk about that one in the future at some point too. But I'll step out. I'll be out in just a second.
I want to do dinosaurs, please.
My son wants to do dinosaurs. I'm not sure what that means.
Please, can I do it?
Well, dinosaurs is a whole lot better than white sand. I'll tell you that much.
If there was dinosaurs in white sand, it would have been more interesting.
Oh, there's really cool creatures that we almost never see.
Never see them. They're like, oh, this is just like Roshar, except that we're going to talk about it like twice.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Again, nothing narratively important. It's so stupid. I hate this.
We really wanted
this book.
It's a Brandon Sanderson graphic novel. We really wanted to like this.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, it must be good if you put it in graphic format.
What I will say is, if you want to absorb the story of White Sand, listen to the graphic audio. I think it is the better way to absorb it. The sound effects, the soundtrack, and most of the voice acting is really up to par. I think that'll be a better, more enjoyable experience for you. But Yeah, thanks for coming to the channel. Thanks for checking out this video with my friend Joe and I talking about white sand.
White.
And if you want to see another video of us talking about more Sanderson besides on the Iron Seas from previous times before there, Joe and I recently talked about Isles of the Emberdark, the brand new Brandon Sanderson Secret Project book.
That's
And
on my channel.
Yeah, it's on Joe's channel, and we actually like that book. So yeah, if you want to hear a very different take, go to his review, our review on his channel. So thank you for being here, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!